In this video, I'm going to talk about winterization. Living in Northeast Ohio, we have cold enough winters that we don't camp. Typically, the campgrounds are mostly open from the beginning of May till middle or end of October. And if you're going to keep your RV up here in the wintertime, then there's certain things that you usually have to do to get it ready to put it away for the winter. So you need to get your refrigerator ready for the winter. After every trip, we always empty it out. And so for the winter time, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your refrigerator and your freezer is empty. We always leave a box of baking soda in the doors of the refrigerator and the freezer just to try to keep anything mildew and moisture and odors. And what we do is some of the newer refrigerators have a little tab that you can pop out to hold the doors open, but ours does not, so we just stick a piece of cardboard in there to prevent the doors from going all the way shut. And we have not had hardly any issues with mold building up in the refrigerator. Another item that you need to take care of is you need to go through your pantry, your cupboards, and make sure that there is no food that would attract mice, anything that'll go stale and go bad. Just check over everything. Also, you want to take out any liquids. Like we have a bottle of cleaner here that we keep in here, and here's some Dawn dishwashing liquid. We like to take out all the cleaners and things like that. That's where we keep our pots and pans, because we don't want them to freeze through the winter and then break and make a big mess. There's some soap. We'll take in the extra toothbrush container. Here's some shampoo. Just trying to prevent something going wrong and something happening. This is a cleaner digester that you can put down your black tank a little at a time to help break down the enzymes and break down stuff in your black and gray tanks to keep it working well. So we'll take all that in. Another part of winterizing is to cover all the holes and vents openings on your RV to try to keep bugs and bees from getting in there and trying to create nests. So I always just take a kitchen trash bag to cover up my refrigerator vent. Okay, one of the things you want to be sure and do is to close up all the vents and holes on the side of your RV. This here is my furnace vents, and so what I do for winter is I just take some old Walmart bags or grocery bags that are plastic, and I just kind of stuff them in the hole for the winter time. That way it keeps bugs and bees and from trying to fly inside my furnace and cause a problem making a nest. And in the springtime then you can pull the bags right back out before you test the furnace. And I talk about that once again in my de-winterizing video, which I will link in the description below. But that's all I do for my furnace vent, is stick a couple bags in there to just clog it up so that nothing can get in there, no rodents can try to climb in, or any bugs or anything to create nests. When you winterize, one of the things you want to do is get the water out of the water lines inside the camper so they don't freeze. And what you see here is my low point water drains. One's for the hot water line and one's for the cold water line. I take these caps off here, open up the faucets up there, and it'll drain the water down underneath here. Most of the newer campers have these. Some older ones might not. If you don't have those, then you'll just have to either open the faucets up and blow the water out with an air compressor through the city water line. You can buy an adapter, or you can just let the pink antifreeze, when you put in there, push the water out. Each coach has these low point water lines someplace different, so you'll have to crawl underneath and check and see where you can find them, or contact your manufacturer about that. Because you're going to be emptying your water line, you also need to empty your hot water tank. And there is a bypass switch, usually somewhere inside, that you flip to bypass the hot water tank so that you don't put antifreeze in there, which I will do shortly. But for now, I need to empty out my hot water tank. Now, my hot water tank is a Suburban hot water tank, and it has what they call an anode rod, and I need to take that out to empty the water out of here. Let's see if there's any pressure. Doesn't seem to be. So I use a 1 1/16 inch socket to fit this anode rod. The anode rod is because the tanks in here are made out of a steel, and so the anode rod itself is supposed to collect any minerals and metals out of the water that's going through here to prevent the tank from going bad. And so I pull out the anode rod, let all the water run out. There should be about 6 gallons in there. And then once all the water's out, I will lay the anode rod in here, or I will start to screw it in just a little bit to keep the bugs out. As you will see after this is done emptying. Okay, we're done emptying out the 6 gallons of water. So I will, usually what I do is I just kind of lay this in here, clean off a little bit of this anode rod stuff, and then I will put a trash bag over this opening. Okay, we got our kitchen trash bag. I just put it there. Poke a little hole in the bag here for that little flip lever. To try to pop through like that. And I just leave the bag hang there for the winter time. Try to keep bugs and stuff from getting in there and creating any nests. Alright, my hot water tank is built into the back corner inside here of the kitchen area of this cupboard. So I'm going to see if I can get to the bypass valve for the hot water tank to show you on mine. Your bypass valve should be somewhere near your hot water tank on the back side. You'll have to check with your manufacturer to find out exactly where it's at in your floor plan. So for me, I have to pull out a couple drawers in the kitchen to get access in here. And my bypass valve is down below in here. So I'm not going to be able to reach it and hold the camera. But my bypass valve is down inside there, which I will flip over so that when I pump the pink antifreeze through the water lines, it will not go into the hot water tank, because I'd have to put 6 gallons of it in there, and there's no use doing that. So that allows the pink antifreeze to run through the hot water lines through the camper, but not go through the hot water tank. Okay, here's a couple jugs of RV antifreeze. That it's a partial jug from last year plus another full jug I bought and did not need last year. I also bought a couple more this year. As you can see, it's called RV Marine Antifreeze. This Arctic band is supposed to be good to a -50. But this is the type of stuff that you want to use in your freshwater system. Many RVs, if not all of them today, have a bypass system, though you can buy this and put it on if yours doesn't come with it. It's a T that comes with a little hose connector, and you put it where your freshwater hose comes up out of your freshwater tank to the water pump. Each RV has a water pump that you can run when you're not hooked to city water. And so the little hose you see coming out and going into the bottle of antifreeze is connected to my water pump through that bypass valve. So I can turn on the water pump, and then when I open a faucet up, the water pump will suck the antifreeze out of the bottle and flow it through the water system. And we will do that on each of the faucets, our kitchen, the bath, the shower, and the commode, until we see pink coming out of each of the outlets. That way we know that the water has been pushed out and the antifreeze is filling up the water line. Okay, the water pump is on. Let's open my faucets here. We got pink coming out the cold. We got pink coming out the hot. The kitchen is done. Let's get the shower. Looks like pink out the cold. Okay, we got the pink in the hot and the shower. Pink in the hot. Alright, good solid pink in the bathroom sink. Now let's check the toilet. Get some pink for the toilet. Pink in the toilet. So that's all that you really have to do to get the antifreeze into your water lines. Alright, another thing that I do every winter is I take the battery out of the RV. After I'm all done with everything else winterizing and I'm ready to close it up for the winter, I take off the cover of the battery, I take my leads loose, and I remove the battery out of here because I don't want to take a chance on the water and the acid liquid inside the cells to freeze and expand the battery and crack and bust the battery, and then I got a bigger mess in the spring. So when I'm all done winterizing, I will take the battery out, and I usually store it in my garage sitting up on a couple wood blocks. I don't want it sitting on the concrete. And I will every month or so during the winter, I will attach a battery charger to it and kind of top it off and try to give it a little bit of a trickle charge throughout the winter, just to keep it from going bad for me. One more thing that needs done every winter is you need to climb up on your roof and you need to check all the sealant on your roof to make sure there's no cracks where water can get into the sealant. And if you do see any cracks in it or spots where it's removing and coming off, then you need to get some lap sealant and put some more down, or if there's a whole lot on there already, you might need to just remove the old stuff and add more. You need to check around all the openings that would be on your roof, whether they're skylight vents, refrigerator vents, antenna holes, or places where the roof meets the end caps, where the walls meet the rubber roof area. And so that basically is how I winterize my RV every winter, to try to protect it from the elements. But you want to make sure all your vents, your windows are closed, your slides are in, and that everything is sealed up as tight as possible to protect the RV from the winter elements. So hopefully this will help you if you need to winterize your RV. If you have any other things that you might do, you are welcome to leave it in the comments below. You're welcome to hit the subscribe button if you want to catch our future videos. Thank you for watching and for following our YouTube channel.